As 12, they called me the smartest man in the room. For 60 years, they were right. And last Christmas, I sat at the dinner table, my whole family around me, and not one of them asked me what I thought about anything. I noticed it around the ham, of all things. My daughter asked her husband about the new house. My grandson asked his mother something. The talk just moved around the table, warm, easy, and it went around me, past me. The way you'd step around a chair nobody uses anymore. 60 years of being right, and somehow being right had turned me into a piece of the furniture. But that isn't why I'm talking to you today. My name is Gerald. I'm 89. I live in Kingston, Ontario, in a little condo that looks out over the lake, though most days I keep the blinds half down. I spent 41 years as a structural engineer. Bridges mostly, overpasses, the plain grey concrete that holds up the world while nobody gives it a second thought. And I was good at it. I need you to know that I really was good. That's the part that still gets me. This isn't the story of a foolish man, it's the story of a smart one. That's worse somehow. Before I go on, how old are you? Just the number, down in the comments. I like knowing who I'm sitting with while I tell this. Let me back up to 1978. My daughter, Anne, was 7. She brought me a drawing of our house, and in the drawing, the roof was purple, and the windows were round, like little circles. And God forgive me, I sat her down and explained very kindly why roofs aren't purple and why windows are rectangles for the load. I thought I was teaching her something. She just stopped showing me her drawings after that. I didn't even notice for years. That's the terrible thing about this, you never feel it happen. But that's not what hurt me most. My wife, Margaret. 46 years, the two of us. And Margaret would come to me with a feeling, not a problem to fix, just a feeling. Gerald, I'm worried about Anne. Or Gerald, I feel far from you lately. And I treat it like a bridge with a flaw in the design, study it, correct it, explain to her with good reasons, airtight reasons, why she didn't need to feel that way. And I won. Every one of those conversations, I won. I want you to sit with that for a second. A man who wins every argument with his wife for 46 years, what do you suppose he's really building? Because it isn't a marriage, I know that now. I haven't told anyone this next part. Somewhere around our 10th year, Margaret just stopped bringing me the inside of her. She'd still tell me about the day, the groceries, the bills, the ordinary things, but the real things, the tender things, she took those somewhere else. To her sister, to Dorothy, her friend, to that garden of hers, and I felt it. I did feel something change, but I told myself she was just getting quiet with age. That wasn't it. She wasn't going quiet. She was going away from me, slow, one conversation at a time. Now, I have to be honest with you here, or the rest of it means nothing. For years, I told myself all of this started later, after Anne grew up and moved out, after the house got empty. That's what I believed. But I read her letters after she was gone, and the distance was already there in 1985. So it was never the empty house. It was me. And it's a strange thing at my age to catch yourself in a lie you told your own self 40 years ago. Margaret died in 2011, her heart, in her sleep, which the doctors called a mercy, and for her it was. At the funeral, Dorothy took my hand. She meant it as the kindest thing. That's what made it so hard to hear. She said, "Margaret always told me you were the smartest man she ever knew." And I stood there waiting for the rest of it. And there wasn't any rest of it. That was the whole sentence. Not the kindest man, not the man who understood her. The smartest. I had spent my entire life earning the one word that meant the least. Now here's the part that changed everything. After the funeral, I couldn't sleep. And there was a box of her letters, ones she'd written to her sister over the years, sent back to us afterward, and I read them, all of them. And in one, from sometime in the 90s, she'd written this: "Gerald is never wrong. I've stopped telling him things because I can't bear being corrected about my own heart." I must have read that line 40 times. I can't bear being corrected about my own heart. You see, I thought love was about giving the right answer, being useful, fixing the thing. And every single time, someone I loved handed me something soft to worry, a feeling, a purple roof. I met it with the hard edge of being right, and I thought I was helping them. I don't know how do I even say this. I was training them, one conversation at a time, training the people I loved, never to bring me anything that mattered. That's the mistake, and it's not the mistake foolish people make. It's the one clever people make, and we make it because we're clever. We think if we can just be correct enough, sharp enough, useful enough, the closeness will come, and it doesn't. Nobody ever felt held by being corrected. Nobody ever felt closer to a man because he won. I built bridges my whole life, and I never once understood that being right and being loved run in two completely different directions. I ran hard down the first one, thinking it would carry me to the second. It doesn't. It carries you the other way. I know that now, sitting here, and I know it too late. I keep thinking someone should have stopped me at that kitchen table in 1978. Someone should have just said, "Gerald, she doesn't need the window fixed. She needs you to like the purple." Let me tell you what I did with what was left. I called Anne. She's 54 now, and I did the hardest thing I have ever done, harder than any span I ever engineered. I asked her a question, and then I did not correct the answer. I asked her, "What was it like having me for a father?" And she went quiet for a long, long time, and then she told me, all of it. And the whole way through, everything in me was straining to explain, to give my side, to be right one more time. I didn't. I stopped. I let her talk, and I let it be true, and I didn't fix a word of it. First time in my life, maybe. When she finished, she was crying a little, and she said, "That's the most you've ever heard me." Not the most I'd ever helped her, the most I'd ever heard her. 40-some years, and that was the first time. We're rebuilding it now, slowly. She sends me photos of her garden, and I don't say a word about the drainage. I just tell her it's beautiful. And it is. So let me ask you something, and you don't have to tell me, just answer it honest for yourself. Who in your life has stopped bringing you their heart because they got tired of being corrected? And is it too late to pick up the phone? Or is it only too late once it's a box of letters? That table still goes quiet on me sometimes. But this last Christmas, my grandson turned to me and asked what I thought about something. And I looked at him and I said, "I don't know. What do you think?" And his whole face opened up, just opened. Turns out those 5 words, "I don't know. What do you think?" were the smartest thing I ever said. And it took me 89 years and a room full of quiet to finally learn them. Next time, I'll tell you about the one person I never did apologize to, and why even now I can't. But that one cost me something to say out loud, so give me a little while.